Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legion Talk episode number 25. Now, what we're going to be taking a look at now is Biden is going to let Trump's H1B visa ban expire in a win for tech firms. That's right. He's going to let that expire. From Bloomberg, from 2 hours ago, President Joe Biden plans to allow a pandemic-related ban on visas for certain temporary workers enacted by former President Donald Trump to expire Wednesday, according to people familiar with the matter. The moratorium, which affected H1B visas used by technology companies to hire foreign coders and engineers, was imposed last June. Biden is opting not to renew it, said the people who asked not to be identified because the decision hasn't been announced. The White House declined to comment. Of course they did, because they don't comment on anything. Jen Psaki can't tell her ass from her elbow. Biden's decision will please business groups, which had pressured the administration to lift the ban ever since the new president took office. Executives have grown frustrated that the directive was not immediately revoked, arguing it hurt U.S. companies. Trump's restrictions on guest worker visas, which also cover non-agricultural seasonal laborers, au pairs, and others, have been under review by the Biden administration. Biden last month withdrew a related Trump executive order that stopped the issuance of new green cards, citing the pandemic, a move that drastically cut illegal immigration to the U.S. Trump had argued the policies were necessary to protect the American economy as it emerged from the pandemic-induced recession, which would also protect Americans and jobs for American workers instead of giving it to people who, in this case, legally, I give them legally, are to come here. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is the way it is. It's America first. I don't care what you think. If you live in this country, you need to believe in America first. You know why? Because if you don't, you're not going to have a good country for your kids to grow up in, or your grandkids, or your great-grandkids. America is a wonderful place for people to come for equal opportunity, not equity, because that's crap. Equal opportunity to come to find their way through a legal process. However, during the COVID-19 recession, Americans need jobs. Yes, the recession is lifting because it was manufactured due to COVID-19 and the lockdowns. But unfortunately, we are still at a roughly about 6% unemployment. No, it's not as bad as it was. North of almost 20% unemployment, but we're at 6%. We need to still take care of American workers. Then we can worry about the rest of the world. To the contrary, it harms the United States, including by preventing certain family members of the United States citizens and lawful permanent residents from joining their families here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you think that you get to go to Baskin Robbins and you get 3 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1, you're high on a crack pipe. You're drinking. Which, I got a little bit of a beer. I mean, I do, but it's I'm not really like. Ugh. In all honesty, you don't get something for free. The world doesn't work that way. There is nothing free in this world. If you get a great interest rate on your car, on car insurance, this is the best way to put it. Your cable bill. They bring you in for a certain price rate because they're like, hey, for the first 12 months, we're going to give you this. And in the next 12 months, we're going to bump it up a little bit. And the next 12 months after that, we're going to bump it up to this. And then usually the third year is when they bump it up to full price because nothing's free. They have to recoup their losses. It's the way it is. That's business. That's capitalism. That's the world. Biden said in a presidential proclamation at the time, it also harms industries in the United States that utilize talents from around the world. Okay, well, I mean, we have talent here in the United States. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have, that not all talent in the United States cannot be utilized and bettered by people from outside the U.S. I'm not saying that. I welcome legal immigrants, absolutely, who did it the right way. They came the right way. They did it the right way. Not the border crisis that President Biden has promoted, but kids in cages and Trump and all that crap. Um, the ban on guest workers visas was not revoked at the same time. Interesting. The ban on guest work visas was not revoked at the same time. So it wasn't everybody. Temporary work visas are unpopular with labor unions and other work groups who argue that they put American workers at a disadvantage to their foreign counterparts. It is technically true because it's cheaper. That's the bottom line, guys. That's why we outsource to China. That's why stuff is made in Malaysia or Korea. It's cheaper. Or Mexico or Honduras. It's cheaper. People don't want to pay the more, they don't want to pay more to get the American profit. But then you have these people who are like going, oh, well, that's screwed up. You need to let these guys come down here and work too. But then you also want to scream for $15 unemployment. That doesn't make any sense. If foreign counterparts make less money for the same job as an American worker, what makes you think that the minimum wage should be $15 an hour for the same foreign counterpart? Because now you're just disadvantaging Americans. Then you're going to make Americans fight for higher jobs. Instead of $15 an hour, they're going to be trying to go for like $18 an hour. And now you're talking about paying. Look, I don't need a McDonald's. I don't need a McDonald's, but like going, you want a Big Mac for $8? I mean, the sandwich costs $5 already. You're looking at $8, $9, and that's just for the sandwich. What are you doing? Despite the Trump administration's extension of the visa ban at the end of 2020, opponents of the restrictions had already found some success in court. A federal judge in California, go figure, because California is a snot hole that everybody's fleeing from. Because just ask California. Just ask Colorado, where I was actually, never mind. Just ask Colorado and Texas that are being flooded by nonsensical people who have the money to flee California because they're like, going, dude, I'm not staying here. Highest tax rate next to New York. A federal judge in California granted a preliminary injunction on October 1st in a lawsuit brought by several large business groups, including the National Association of Manufacturers and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The groups argued Trump exceeded his authority by imposing immigration restrictions in his June 22nd proclamation. Interesting. I thought COVID and stuff, right? Like on COVID, COVID's here, things are shut down, we should be safe. Oh, wait, Biden's president now. Everybody's flooded the border. They're in children in cages, and they're, instead of 250 person capacity, they're at like 5,200. But COVID and stuff, we're all going to die. Yeah, we're all going to die from COVID. The Trump Justice Department appealed that the ruling to the San Francisco-based U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. In February, the appellate court requested a status report from the parties by April 7th. For more we're not going to go to Bloomberg.com. You're going to go eat your money. Guys, the world just came out of a giant manufactured recession for the whole entire planet due to COVID. I got my second dose of the vaccine today. Let's just say I'm an essential employee for the federal government, and there is somebody who I'm very close to, I see all the time, who is very much at risk. I did my thing. I did my patriotic thing per Joe Biden. I have to take a picture or laminate my COVID vaccine card to travel internationally. So if I have to show proof of vaccination to go to Britain or Iceland or Canada, why would you let anybody else in this country just freely? Does that make sense to you? I mean, do you want Do you want people bringing COVID and being next to you who haven't been vaccinated or vetted or tested? Or I mean, come on, that's a great question. It's not a hard answer. It's yes or no. Yes, I would love the people with all the COVID to come in who haven't been tested. 2.1 million shots a day, from what I understand to this point, 2.1 million shots a day. And you want to welcome in others to be like, bring them in, yeah, whatever. Get real, dudes. You need to pick a lane. Y'all can't pick a lane because you don't have a platform. Your platform is as fluid as your gender. That is nonsense. I'm so tired of this nonsense. I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't get, don't bring COVID to the United States if you're from another country, because I have to carry my vaccine card now to travel as a healthy U.S. citizen to another country. I hope you enjoyed this video, and for the love of God, stay in your own country until this is all over. We didn't invite you. We don't want you. And quite frankly, it just makes sense. Do we want to rise in the virus? No. I'm sure somebody will think that I'm full of hate and bigotry and all that wonderful stuff. You have a nice night. I just don't care. You have no leg to stand on.